Hello, this is Angel Krause, and this is a short video on Module C, Step 4.3, the Post-Observation Conversation. So at this point in time, you have identified your focus on your IIP. You've developed a unit incorporating the information from your research on your IIP. You've developed lesson plans. You've administered an entry-level assessment, and you've evaluated the results. And now your support provider has observed one of your lesson plans. The next step after the observation is the post-observation conversation. And during this conversation, what you're going to do is you're going to take a look at both the notes that your support provider took and also the student work that was collected or that was observed during that lesson. And so analysis of student work is document C7, and you can see that it says observation number 1. There is one for the second observation as well, and we'll take a look at that briefly. We would love the post-observation conversation to occur the same day that the observation takes place, but we know that that's not always a possibility. But we do encourage within the next 24 to 48 hours after the observation to go ahead and have this post-observation conversation. If your support provider will be viewing your lesson by video, you just need to make sure that you give them enough time to watch the video, provide feedback, and then you would need to set up a time to discuss with them as well. So once you have the feedback from your lesson, the written comments from your support provider that are just kind of documenting what they're seeing, you're going to take a look at the student work. Now this is going to vary based on what you did in the lesson. Any progress monitoring that you did during the lesson. So what and if you collected any assignments or there were any observable ideas that you focused on. So if you were looking at a lot of verbal responses, all of that would be documented in the lesson observation form. So you're going to take a look at this progress monitoring assessment. It might be a little activity that you do at the end of the lesson. It might be a piece of group work that you did with your students, or station work or center work that would show if they're understanding your objective for the lesson. And you would talk through each of them and talk about how did your students perform as a whole class, and then talk about each of your focus students individually. And then you will submit the copies of the 3 focus students graded or scored work. So what comments you put on there, how did they do on that progress monitoring assessment. You'll complete one of these for the first observation, and then you will also complete one at the end of the second observation. So you'll see that there's an analysis of student work. I find it really a great time to reflect on what's going on in your classroom. When you look at student work and you have another set of eyes looking at it with you as well, because sometimes it brings new light to what you're seeing. If you have any questions about what could serve as a progress monitoring assessment in your lesson, just talk with your support provider, talk with me. Remember, we do progress monitoring assessment all the time, but maybe it just hasn't been labeled as that when you are actually doing anything. Anytime that you are teaching a lesson, a standard, and you collect evidence of how they're doing on achieving that goal, that is a progress monitoring assessment. All right, I'm looking forward to seeing your student work and how your students are working towards meeting the objectives. Thank you.